It is a monumental day and a pivotal time for our sport, because now, for the first time in at least our lifetimes, we can call cricket an Olympic sport. That will become a reality in 2028 when the Olympics go to Los Angeles. So, to just look at what impact this could have, how did this happen? Three very fine gentlemen to my left, former Australia captain Aaron Finch and former India captain Anil Kumble will weigh in. But the man that has played a big part in making that happen, the United States ambassador to India, Eric Garcetti, former mayor to LA. So welcome, ambassador. Let me start with you. Take us through how this has become a reality.
Well, this is really a dream come true. 5 years ago, the chairman of our Olympics in Los Angeles, a dear friend, Casey Wasserman, and I sat down and said, this is probably the biggest sport in the world that doesn't have Olympic recognition. In 1900, there was one game played between Britain and France. They didn't even know it was an Olympic match, by the way. And afterwards, they got the medals. But since then, we haven't seen cricket in the Olympics. And when I came here, saw T20 format, saw the excitement, realized we could do this in a 2.5-week Olympic span. We've been talking every month since then. And now here, for the first time in 44 years, the International Olympic Committee is meeting in India. So it's kind of like the universe has delivered cricket in this cricket crazy country at a moment of the World Cup and the LA Olympics. Who would have thought the Americans would bring cricket home? But since we played the first international match ever in cricket history against Canada in 1844, we're going to bring it back in Los Angeles and the world can celebrate.
Yeah, there is history in that part of the world. It's documented that George Washington might have featured in the game of cricket.
Absolutely. That's probably why I had wooden teeth.
what they called wicket, I believe, at the time.
Exactly. Wicket.
But now in this day, this predates your ambassadorship to India. So for an American who would have obviously followed more of baseball and NBA and NFL growing up, what was your first taste of cricket? Because you've played a role in wanting this even before your time in India.
Absolutely. I grew up as a baseball nut. I played baseball as a kid. I loved it. It was when I lived in England. I went there for graduate school at Oxford University. And so I played with friends there and realized, hey, this prejudice we have against cricket is maybe a little unfounded. It's a great game. The pace is awesome. You get to eat lunch in the middle of it. I mean, what's bad about this? So I learned a little bit then. And when I came back to LA, and we won the Olympics after a multi-year campaign, we have 5 sports that we can put in. And we looked at a couple things like American football, with flag football. We looked at lacrosse, bringing baseball back. And we said, why not? This is played in 105 countries, and it's time to bring it. So we have been campaigning, lining this up, and just came to the agreement with the International Olympic Committee this past week.
Yeah, this is significant. And let's start with the significance for the modern day player, Finchy. Retired perhaps a year or two too late. Because now there is the chance for many of your teammates to, in addition to being World Cup winners like you are, to also be Olympic medalists. That means something for the sport?
Oh, it means a huge amount to the sport. I think having that world stage to showcase how good the game is and how much it's grown, particularly through the T20 format over the last sort of 15 to 18 years throughout, it's just extraordinary. And I certainly wouldn't have got to 2028, so I'm still comfortable with when I retired.
This is very significant from an Indian point of view too. You understand the sporting landscape so well, Anil, one of India's greatest ever players. But the reverence that Olympians enjoy, your Abhinav Bindras, Neeraj Chopra recently, even our silver and bronze medalists, something that we always hoped and wished, could the Indian cricket team also be Olympic winners?
Oh, it's a great thing for cricket and the sport. To be an Olympian is a massive feeling. And my 9 years, the ICC in the cricket committee, every meeting had a discussion about the Olympics, cricket in the Olympics. And I'm really happy that 2028 in LA, cricket will be featured. And I was a part of the Commonwealth in 1998 when cricket was played in the Commonwealth. And it was fantastic as an experience for an athlete to be in the athletic village, to mingle amongst other athletes, to watch other sport. I mean, I went and watched India play hockey. I went and watched Gopi Chand play badminton. And it was fantastic to be a part of that village and to have that experience. And now recently in the Asian Games, both the Indian men's and the women's team won gold. So it's a fantastic feeling to hold that medal and be a part of the experience of being in the Olympics. And it's great that it's finally a part of the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, the needle was shifting for the last few years. You mentioned the Asian Games. We saw cricket participate in the Commonwealth Games more recently. But I guess it would be universally accepted this is big for the sport, being part of the Olympics. What about the coincidence of the venue, the United States, where We're now seeing Major League Cricket. We're seeing Masters Cricket that Finchy, you were a part of. India recently played there. I mean, I've seen the support that they got in Florida. What could cricket at the LA 28 games, Mr. Ambassador, do for the popularity of the sport in your part of the world?
Well, you know, a lot of people in America don't realize that we are up to the second biggest streamer of cricket, not only because of the number of Indians and other South Asians that are there, but we have folks from the Caribbean, we have folks that are from Australia, from Britain. We already have a population that loves cricket.
Yep.
Now it's time to pass that on to our fellow Americans. And I know LA 28 will do this. Major League Cricket this past year started something, but now we got to build the venues, build the fans, build the base. And I love, you know, that this Hollywood versus Bollywood kind of mix of the LA Olympics. I mean, Shah Rukh Khan co-owns the team in Los Angeles,
right.
the Knight Riders. So being able to put that together in Los Angeles, bring some of the star power, I think it's only a matter of time before we'll never abandon baseball, but we can also love cricket too.
Yeah, I'm sure the American, let's say, the ones that are conservative about the popularity of cricket would think, yeah, but it's too boring, it's not going to work. There is a history of a world event, if we talk about football, or as you call it, soccer in your part of the world, changing once an event of such a magnitude brought it to American shores?
Yeah, no question. I think when we see it on our own territory, in our own cities, we'll understand how big it is. And I think also, we don't know how many of our neighbors are spending their Saturdays or Sundays. Actually, in the United States, because of the time, we've got people who are up right now, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning watching the World Cup. So I think it'll be seen as an American sport. And for every American who thinks it's boring, I mean, I'll always love baseball, but it sometimes is faster. The T20 format, somebody's always hitting, somebody's always running, somebody's always throwing, somebody's always catching, so you're not going to get bored.
Yeah, I mean, I got bored at a baseball game, so perhaps I'll do the other thing when I'm there.
I'll explain it to you, don't worry.
Sure. You spend some time in that part of the world, and this comes at the back of the All-Stars that happened a few years ago. West Indies tend to have some part of their series there. Finchy, you played, I think it was very close to Los Angeles, wasn't it, that you played T10 Masters Cricket for. You see potential that the game could grow there.
Absolutely. I think what was so impressive was to see the amount of local Americans come through the gates as first-time viewers of the game, and just the ability to attract them in. We know that Americans love sport in general, so to just attract that new, I suppose, a new band of fans that just went to the game just to see it live and see what cricket was all about. They would have heard about it, so they went. So imagine you put that on the global scale, and then all of a sudden the game starts up in the park, and then neighbours get involved, like you said. It's contagious. And I think for somebody from Australia who grew up in a cricket-loving country town, where community sport is the heart and soul of country towns, it can be the same on a global scale.
We're speaking at a time of the most celebrated game in cricket, an India-Pakistan World Cup fixture. How does the India-Pakistan Olympic gold medalist fixture sound? Do you sense it'll be almost bigger than that? Then I tend to worry, is cricket going to think the Olympics has gotten bigger than the World Cup?
No, I think it'll attract the same kind of attention, even in the Olympics. Rivalry will certainly go there. The other advantage of cricket being in the Olympics is also other countries getting the funding from the government, because it's an Olympic sport.
Yes.
European countries, you have other Asian countries who are keen and who participate in cricket, but not necessarily get the funding. So this perhaps will only augment all of that.
I mean, I've no doubt that China is going to put in a pretty strong Olympic team now for cricket. Once it gets into the Olympics, they prepare hard for it. But before we wrap this up, I must once again come to you, Mr. Ambassador, to just remind our viewers on how this was actually made possible now and not in previous editions, and the autonomy, the role that you enjoyed to ensure that as a host nation, you were able to include cricket, which doesn't get a lot of love previously.
Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't there before. I mean, it's been in countries like the UK, and they've had the Olympics, and it just never happened. I think momentum and the talk that you mentioned for years and years built up, but it was also, that's what America's about, is that we take things from all around the world, and we say, look, everybody's welcome here. We want to reflect the world. We come from around the world. And I think this will solidify it. And my dream is that maybe 2028 will plant the seed for a young woman or a young man who will become a world-class cricketer who's from America. And of course, I did this now as ambassador to India because I want to see your gold medal count go up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we bring that point to the women's game. Strong as it is, we saw the Indian women's team at the Commonwealth, so we must remember Olympic sports. So there's a chance for success across both the men's and the women's cricket
Yeah,
formats?
that's the beauty about Olympics. It brings all generations and everyone together, and it's great for Indian women cricket team as well. I mean, recently the Asian Games, gold medal. It's fantastic, and to be a part of the Olympics, just the celebrations, walking in that inaugural march past with the flag. I mean, that itself is a great feeling. Like I said, one opportunity I got in the Commonwealth, and I'm sure athletes and cricketers will cherish this moment.
Yeah. T20 is the format, though, isn't it? And this was always the hope, that this format is something that will appeal to people who have never seen or experienced cricket before, because you're going to get a lot of that at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, a lot of action. Like the ambassador said, it happens so quick. There's always something happening, regardless of how the two teams match up against each other. The contest is always reasonably even. And I think that it just goes to show how far the game has come as well, that people from all around the world are now playing in all parts of the world as well. So, I mean, there won't be any dull contests. I was lucky enough to play there, like you said, and to see the facilities that have been put in place in America already is fantastic. So I can only imagine what they can do in LA in a couple of years' time.
All right. I think I'm going to finish with the ambassador. Any final thoughts, ambassador, on how this makes you feel, that it's come full circle, what you wanted has been achieved, the games at Los Angeles, cricket included, and you in India? That emotion must be something personally fulfilling.
When I got here, folks said the three top sports in India, of course, are cricket, and cricket. So I had a friend who suggested, after this vote is official, you should just go home, because you've achieved everything you needed to do here in India. But all joking aside, I hope to see you all in Los Angeles, and all the folks that are watching this, come to LA. It is an Indian city, it's an international city, and it'll be the best Olympics you've ever seen, a games changer.
Well, you've put it so well. You've played such a big role, Mr. Garcetti, and we can't let you go without a little bit of love. You are the ambassador to India. So if I could use all my powers and procure a little gift. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, Finchy. We didn't have an Aussie jersey in stock.
That's okay.
But this isn't just an India jersey. Anil, you could turn that around and present it to Ambassador Garcetti. It's got his name on it.
This is perfect.
I think it's a size too big.
It's a dream come true. It's all right, I'll keep working out. There it is. Go India. Let's go.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great to be with you.